Good afternoon, everyone. I'm super excited today because I actually have two guests with me. It's the first time that I've got to interview two folks. And I have Sherry and Max with Tri-County Mental Health. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, no problem.
Glad to be here.
So, we're going to talk a little bit about your youth prevention group that you guys have ran for years called Youth with Vision. So could you give me just a brief overview of what Youth with Vision is?
Youth with Vision is a student-led coalition that is made up of youth in grades 8th through 12th grade from the Clay, Platte, and Ray counties in the Kansas City area. We have approximately 40 members currently, and Youth with Vision has been, it's been here for about 25 years. It's an organization that's been in place. The mission of Youth with Vision is to reduce peer drug and alcohol substance use within their communities as well as their schools. And in the last couple of years, they've also taken on the challenge of also trying to prioritize and look at the issues of mental health and youth mental health and how we can also support that and provide resources for mental health issues that youth are also experiencing during this time.
Absolutely, that's great. And Sherry, what is your role with the Youth with Vision group?
Well, Max and I actually are both the sponsors of Youth with Vision. So we are both youth prevention specialists, and we are both the sponsors. And so we're the lead adult sponsors for Youth with Vision. We facilitate what they do, their actions, their events, their activities. So we facilitate what their priorities are and help them to accomplish those things.
Okay. And Max, you're just the same role?
Yeah, we're pretty much the same person, but like Sherry said, it's the kids that are the real star. They're the the minds behind everything that we do, and it's our job simply just push them along and help them along the way in whatever way we can. So.
Right. That's, of course, through ACT Missouri, I've worked with Youth with Vision for many, many years. And the awesome thing about Youth with Vision is it is very much peer-led. And the adults are just there to help them find resources. And like you said, just kind of that little push. So it's
Right.
just a really special group. You mentioned that you helped the youth develop peer-to-peer videos. Could you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, so that was actually one of the projects that we started working on ever since we had to go virtual back last March. We were kind of sitting down and thinking with the kids, what would be a good way to kind of reach students in their schools and across our service area that we could do so virtually. And one of the ideas that we had was this series called Teen Health Now that we're currently working on. And what we did was we allowed the kids to kind of take a step back and say, all right, what are the topics we're passionate about? What do we want to start a conversation about with our peers? And they all got in groups and wrote scripts about 1 minute long each. And we're in the process of recording these monologues of kids just talking about things like mental health, substance use, and a lot of things like that. It's a very COVID sensitive topic as well. It's a lot of what we're talking about. And it's been really cool to watch these kids kind of take the lead on these projects and write these scripts out and kind of get creative with how they want to present these issues. And we're working on them right now, and we actually have our next meeting on Saturday, and we'll have more details about what that's going to look like and how those are going to kind of shape out. But we've got 2 recorded already, and we've got about 2 more about to record before Saturday. So things are happening really fast, and it's really exciting. But again, this is all the kids. This is something that they were passionate about and wanted to do. This was topics that they researched on, that they are passionate about, that they want to talk about. So it's really exciting looking back on this footage and seeing, wow, these kids are very passionate about these things, and they have a lot to say. And so it's our job as adults to listen.
Right. And where do you plan to push, like how are they going to push these out so other kids can see them?
So typically how we've been doing with our last virtual project is it's on a request basis. So if someone wanted to come to us and say, hey, I'm interested in this project that you're working on, like one of the videos we're working on right now is stress management. One of the 8th graders in our Youth Vision group actually wrote it and did a fantastic job. If somebody was interested in that video, once it's completed, they would have to get in contact with us, and we'd give them all the resources that they needed to watch that video. So
we provide we do have a list of all of our schools and contact people within our county, within our 3 county areas. So we send out information to all of them that say, hey, here it is. Sometimes we will have a little trailer so they can see what that looks like. So we send all that information out. We'll also, depending on the success of those within the schools, that we'll also put them on our own Youth with Vision YouTube page, as well as our Instagram. We have some videos that the Youth with Vision has done prior, and we'll just add those to that. So those are also will be uploaded there.
Okay, great. And once we're done, I will put the Youth with Vision YouTube link in the comments, everyone. So don't fret. The next thing I'd like to move to was with COVID and everything going virtual. You guys said that your meetings went to virtual. I know that Youth with Vision is very, very heavy into trying to sway legislation, especially towards substance use, mental health, things that impact kids their age. So they always go to Jefferson City and they visit with their legislators. What is that going to look like this year?
It's going to be virtual, but what the exec team has decided is that we're still going to try to meet with our legislators individually. So we will have small groups, and I'm in the process of contacting our legislators now to set up times. Our groups they have 3 focus areas, which they've always had. And one of them, of course, is a PDMP plan that we're still trying to work through and get that to pass, the prescription drug monitoring program. One of our priorities is the flavor ban for tobacco, and trying to get all of our disposables and everything. So the flavor ban for tobacco. And then the last priority that Youth with Vision has is actually they want an extension of the policy that's in place now that requires cigarettes to be behind a counter. And they want that policy and that law to be extended to also include e-cigarettes and disposables. So those are their 3 priorities. So they're in the process. They'll be developing their materials. They're researching the points that they want to make with their legislators, and then we will have virtual meetings with those legislators. And right now we anticipate doing that in early February.
Great. And I know that Youth with Vision always has legislative priorities. How hard was it this year to narrow down to just 3? Because I know some years it's really hard and some years it's not quite so hard.
This year actually wasn't as difficult because flavor bans for vaping is definitely on the top of everybody's list. So that was a big one. The PDMP they've had for a long time, and Youth with Vision, they've talked about, okay, do we want to move to something else? But yet the group still feels like, with COVID, there has been an increase in prescription drug use. There is that increase again with all the isolation. And so they just didn't feel like they were ready to move past that one yet. And then as we did more research, they realized that, oh, you mean these e-cigs are here for anybody, and the young kids and anyone can sit here and look at them on the counter. And so the third one was probably the most difficult for them to come up with, but with vaping being so prevalent, they just have really felt like they wanted to go ahead and push those through. Last year, I know we had a marijuana emphasis, and that's not gone, but it's not that priority. They felt like we've got to move with the flavor ban, and we've got to get these e-cigs behind a counter. So.
Yeah, that's really great that they moved forward with that, because obviously they see their peers being impacted by the availability to get these vape products and the flavored vape products too. So that's outstanding. We have just a few minutes left, and I know that you also you guys did so much, we could probably do like a half hour instead of like a short snippet, but you did a brain video and a vaping video as well. Could you speak to those briefly?
Yeah, so in the, once COVID hit, we had to completely flip everything we did. We could no longer be in schools, teaching kids about these issues. So we said, let's just go virtual. And so what we did was I recorded a video series. The first one we put out was on the brain and how substance use can affect the developing teen brain and kind of the science behind addiction, kind of explained in like a fun, goofy, laid back way. And it was a lot of fun putting together, and we've been sending that to schools and got a lot of really great feedback about it. So right now we're actually moving on to vaping was the next subject that we're actually covering. And I actually have it, I'm working on it right now. These things are, labors of love, but I think that they really kind of are needed right now, and they're going to withstand the test of time, because not only are they what we can use right now, but these are recordings that we could send out, for years to come. And I think that I've gotten a lot out of making these, and I think the kids are getting a lot out of watching these recordings as well. So they're about 8 to 10 minutes long, all of them. And they this one I'm doing on vaping kind of covers the history of vaping, and then kind of dives more into how nicotine can affect the developing teen brain, while the first one I did on the teen brain was strictly about addiction and how substance use can at an early age can lead to a lifelong problem. So these have been fun to put together, and we're going to hopefully continue putting these out in the near future.
Okay, and I know that we're probably going to get a lot of questions because there's just so much good information here. Is it okay if I put you guys' emails in the comments as well? So if anyone wants to get in touch with you and has questions. Okay, perfect.
Definitely.
Well,
we even have a trailer that Max could send out on the brain video if anybody wants it, that they think might be interesting. If they'd like to look at that, we can even send a trailer of that.
That would be great. I'm sure you will get emails. So thank you for letting me share that. And thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. And of course, like I said, Youth with Vision's got a special place in my heart. So I'm glad you guys could come and talk about them.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.